Hello, I'm Tim,
Hi, I'm Tina.
and we want to send greetings to our brothers and sisters at First Baptist Church in Hollywood. I'm sorry that we couldn't be there in person. I was very much looking forward to being a part of the missions conference, but we'll have to do it by video just to give you a quick update of what's going on with us in the ministry. One of the big things that happened, as you know, I do training overseas, primarily in the Philippines, but also train pastors in Myanmar, Malaysia, and Pakistan. And so there were a couple things we wanted to share just to be an encouragement to you from our trip to Pakistan in March. But before that, had opportunity to go to the Philippines, and I do training in expository preaching, teaching the pastors how to study and preach from the Word. And so we just graduated our fourth class from the last few years. They survived COVID. They survived all the challenges there. And what normally is a 3-year program took them 4.5 years because of that. And so, but they endured. They were faithful. We had 17 men graduate from the program. And actually, we're starting up a new batch. This is in Cebu, which is in the center of the Philippines. A new batch is starting up. We've had over 50 applications so far who want to join the program. So we're seeing a lot of just tremendous growth there and in the training. But one thing we wanted to share with you together about is both Tina and I had the opportunity to visit Pakistan, which is a door that the Lord has opened up for training in the last couple of years. And I've been there 4 times in the last 1.5 years doing training, and my wife Tina was able to come with me on the last trip that we had in March. And so I'm training 32 pastors there from 13 different cities all over the country. And we're doing the training in English, and they're being prepared in how to study and preach the Word, and then so that they can be trained to do the same thing with other pastors in their local areas. And so Tina and I were able to go there. We did a number of different things. Not only was I doing training, but both of us were involved in conferences. We did marriage conference together. Tina was probably more busy than I was. They had her speaking at a number of women's events and seminars and things like that. But maybe Tina, you could share maybe one thing from that trip that was most impactful to you or most encouraging.
It was my first time going to Pakistan in March with Tim, and like Tim said, Pastor Morris had asked me to speak 10 different times. A few of the topics were similar with the marriage conference when we went from city to city. But I was able to go to one area that is very restricted to foreigners called Quetta, and it's on the Afghan border. And that was a very eye-opening experience for me. First time I was very aware of being a woman and in a very, Muslim man-centered culture there. However, I was able to speak to a group of women, including some Muslim women, because they were attending a local sewing class at the church where one of Tim's students is pastoring. And so that was quite just a memorable and really neat opportunity for me to teach from 1 Peter 1 about our hope in Jesus Christ. It was all about our hope, our eternal hope in Christ, and meant to be an encouragement for the believers, but also maybe a group of these 8 to 10 Muslim women who were in attendance. And so there were many memorable opportunities, but that one probably sticks out the most for me.
Yeah, really just the opportunity to reach into these Muslim homes, which you just can't do. But this sewing class, the husbands were open to it because it was providing a skill that the women could use to bring income into the family, into the home.
Yeah, and so interestingly enough, because of this opportunity that they're providing, the pastor and his wife and some of the others have been invited into their homes.
Yeah, which is...
And it's relationship oriented, of course. They're not legally allowed to proselytize Muslims, and so it has to all be based on a relationship. It has to be initiated by a Muslim asking you questions and all of that. But for them to want to come and hear me speak was kind of a big deal, apparently. They were interested. I think a lot of them had never seen a white American before, a woman. And then even that the women were showing us like their sewing crafts afterwards, and they were interacting with Tim and with Pastor Morris and me.
Yeah.
Just seemed like a real
rare opportunity.
So
we used to be praying for Pastor Otto is the pastor there, but all of the pastors, I wish we could have more time to share with you a bunch of things. Perhaps next year we'll be able to come in person, but many needs of prayer. Please be praying for the men that are in the training program, not just for the training, but also that God would use them to lead in their churches in a very difficult place. I'm sure you've heard recently of I think the video was shown of the persecuted church there, and churches being burned and believers' homes being looted and burned. And now even today I got a message that a church was raided and the pastor was shot by extremists and in another area. So our brothers and sisters in Pakistan need our support, primarily our support in prayer.
Yes.
To remember them, to bring them before the throne. Of course, there are many practical needs as well that are needed there, but I think first and foremost, please be committed to praying fervently for them. Plan to do some training with them by Zoom in September, and then my next trip to Pakistan, Lord willing, in December. I'll be heading to Myanmar the end of this month to do some training there, and also the Philippines, and then again in the Philippines in November. So we would appreciate your prayers along those lines as well. And then hopefully Tina can come out with me in January to the Philippines, so you could be praying for that. We really, really appreciate, are thankful for your partnership.
Thank you.
And not just financially, but really we're thankful for your prayers and partnering with us in the gospel ministry. May God bless you.
Bless you.
And God bless the missions conference this year.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.